Hello, everyone, and welcome in to a new episode of the 716 Sports Blizzard. Today, my guest is Jonathan, and we are going to recap the game between the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints.
Yes. The Bills won 31-19. Again, it was a game that I feel like a lot of Bills fans were expecting a blowout. But for the second week in a row, they really played down a competition and they allowed a team that was superior, that they were clearly superior to, stay in the fight and really give them a scare. It was not the Bills' best game at all. The defense is still questionable. Offense made a ton of mistakes. But at the end of the day, the Bills won by more than 2 scores. So, Robbie, what are your thoughts on the game?
I think, that one touchdown, where the Saints scored, where was the coverage on that? Where was everybody at? You know what I mean?
That's a little bit of a problem. The coverage has been a little disappointing. And they were lucky deep in the third quarter. New Orleans had a touchdown called back because of an incomplete pass. The ball actually hit the players. The ball hit the turf, bounced up, and it was caught. But still concerning to see the defense just leave it wide open like that. And then there was the rough and the penalty penalties. So in some ways, the Bills were a little lucky to get away with this win. So it is a little concerning. But I guess you gotta look at the bright side. We gotta remind ourselves that at the end of the day, this is the NFL. No matter how superior you are to your opponents, you cannot take any team for granted. We see upsets happen all the time. We saw the Giants beat the Chargers. We saw the Falcons beat the Commanders. I mean,
And the Jaguars beat somebody. I don't remember who they played.
The Jaguars beat the 49ers. That's another bit upset, although both teams are 3-1. The Jaguars are 3-1, but I'm still not sold on them. But the important thing of the Buffalo Bills is that they are 5-0. They are in control of the number 1 seed race.
Oh, you mean 4-0?
4-0, 4-0. Yes, sorry. There's only one other team that's 4-0 in the NFL, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. And I am really optimistic that they will get that number 1 seed, which will be a huge boost on the way to the Super Bowl.
I mean, my early prediction would be like Bills Eagles or
Yeah, Bills Eagles is probably my prediction. I was saying Packers, but the Packers lost to the Browns. They're currently losing to the Cowboys. So I am predicting a Bills-Eagles Super Bowl.
and I think that would be like a good Super Bowl between the Bills and the Eagles if that ended up happening.
Oh yeah, it'd be fitting because the Bills played the other 3 NFC East teams in the Super Bowls back in the 90s. The Giants, the Redskins / Commanders, and then the Cowboys. So it'd be fitting if they went full circle and took face the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think they played the Cowboys twice in the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did. The last 2 Super Bowls. I mean, I think the Bills and the Eagles are easily the 2 best teams in the league. We saw a game between the Chiefs and the Ravens, and I look at that game. I was like, on paper, those two teams are should be the top contenders for the AFC. But one of them was going to drop to 1-3, and it was Baltimore. And the Chiefs really struggled the first 3 weeks of the season, even though they beat the Giants. So between the Ravens and the Chiefs, who do you think scares you more, the Chiefs or the Ravens?
Well, Baltimore played us close in our first game with them. Where the Bills had to go down and kick a last-second field goal.
Put this way, before the game, I was saying Baltimore because I was saying to myself, the Bills need to prove that they can win without relying on turnovers. So eventually, they're going to have that game where they don't turn the ball over. The last 2 times the Bills play the Ravens in the divisional round playoff and then week 1, the Ravens dominated the Bills statistically, but the Bills won because they capitalized on turnovers. So, however, after today, and maybe I'm overreacting, I don't think the Ravens scare me anymore because that defense is bad. The Chiefs have a lot of problems, but at the end of the day, they still have Mahomes. They still have Reed. And I think they are starting to get a little healthy, so the Chiefs could be back.
Do the Chiefs scare you when they come to Buffalo? Like that 1 week when we play them, do you think the Bills will have a good chance to beat them?
The Chiefs have been annoying for for 4 years in a row. The Bills beat them in the regular season and then fall to them in the playoffs. So, and I look at that I'm leaning towards yes, because the defense needs to be better. The offense, I think we could boldly say on the offense, this is the best offense the Bills have had in the Allen Bean McDermott era. Maybe even the best offense in franchise history, because they have a great offensive line, a good running back in James Cook. Maybe all he needs like a number 1 receiver like Diggs, but this everyone East mentality is really good. But the defense just needs to be better, especially when they face Mahomes and Reed. Now, in a few weeks, they'll be getting Hairston back, Ogunjobi back, Hart back. That will, fingers crossed, help them improve that defense. But I'd say I'm a little scared of Kansas City.
Would you say that, like, when the Eagles come to Buffalo, do you think that's going to be another test for the Bills?
Oh, yeah. That could be a Super Bowl preview. Howard Simon did pick the Bills, and he had them losing to Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. But this is a real interesting season, and probably the Bills' best shot to go to the Super Bowl, because they are favorites in every game they play, and that includes both Super Bowl teams. They have a pretty easy schedule. Tampa Bay is probably the next tough opponent they face. So, and they got Super Philadelphia at home. So, but we cannot expect an unbeaten season. It's only happened it hasn't happened since 2007, since they moved 60 games. And as we saw today, any given Sunday, you got to figure sooner or later the Bills are going to have that bad game. I just hope they can get they get that number 1 seed and they don't have a bad game in the playoffs. So, Robbie, have you seen the Sabres?
I mean, I've seen like, I mean that Consta Helenius. Oh my, I'm like, I like him. Why can't they
Keep him up.
like why can't they like keep him up here instead of loaning him to Rochester?
Well, I think he needs time to develop. I mean, watch this preseason. I mean, I know people are going to say, well, okay, it's only preseason, and remember the Sabres went 6-1 in preseason, but there was a lot of good signs. Helenius, Merca. I mean, Merca provides the physicality that Owen Power has lacked. So there are some good signs. Tage Thompson's looking real good. Unfortunately, I cannot say this is a playoff team until they fix that power play.
Do you see them like keeping Noah Oslin up here instead of down in Rochester, or do you think he's gonna end up going down to Rochester as well?
I can see him possibly go back and forth. I mean, Levi's probably gonna spend the whole year in Rochester. He needs another year down there, but Oslin, I think, could be back and forth between Buffalo and Rochester. And that's the frustrating.
Who?
Go ahead.
So, who do you think would be like the starting goaltender come the season opener?
Probably Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I mean, rather not, he's probably the most important player. Like they really need him to get back to where he was a few years ago.
So would the goalie tandem be Luukkonen and Georgiev?
Yeah, Georgia. I think Levi needs another season in Rochester, and it just feels like another rebuilding season that the Sabres need to take their time. But if they take their time on, of course, the Sabres fans are just really frustrated. We've been waiting 15 years. When will this rebuild be complete?
Yeah. And I'm going to be going down to that game between Buffalo and Pittsburgh for one of the last preseason games.
Oh, have fun. I've been down to Pittsburgh before, so yeah, let us know how it goes.
It's in Buffalo, so.
So, have you done that goal song competition? Like, has there been a goal song that you really liked?
The Tick Tick Boom one, I really like that one because, like, you know,
Tick Tick Boom.
Because Tage Thompson used to have Fishing in the Dark, and that was
A good song. Yeah, I get it. I mean, yeah, I like how they're going with us team goal song instead of individual one to let the fan side. I mean, as of now, every time we touch by Cascade is winning. It's like every time we touch. That's just a silly one in my opinion, but I actually chose a Swords of 1,000 Men because Buffalo Sabres swords, and the Sabres used it in 2011, which is the last year they made the playoffs, the year Pagula bought the team. So maybe that could sell a little bit of nostalgia. Now before that, to the finalists, I initially chose TNT by AC/DC because every time Tage Thompson scores, Dan Lee is like TNT.
yeah.
maybe Sabres fans are just like thinking, well, right now we're trying to find the equivalent of Mr. Brightside for the Bills, the theme song for the team. But I don't think it's going to happen until the Sabres get good again. Like back in the Breer Drury days, the Sabres theme song was Hurricane 2000. And
Yeah, by Guns N' Roses, I think it was.
no, Scorpions. Well, technically Scorpions and the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. But yeah, so, then of course the U.S. team has Freebird. And he goes, Lord, I can't change. Won't you fly, Freebird? That's another
Yeah.
song I was considering. So,
Um.
any
Well,
thoughts, Robbie? Good.
on Sunday Night Football, the during the game that is live right now, they advertised for next week, the Bills Patriots game. Um,
Now that's going to be a good test for the Bills because New England isn't a cupcake. I mean, on paper, the Bills are better than them, but I think New England is an average, maybe like not 8, 9, 10 win team. And Drake May looked really good today versus Carolina. So the Bills need to be prepared. They cannot take this team lightly like they did Miami last week and what they did New Orleans this week. They're going to keep their unbeaten season alive.
do you, like? Do you think Carolina is just not good, or was it the play of the Patriots offense that really helped them this week?
I'm leaning towards Carolina is not good because they have a meddling owner in David Tepper. They just have a mess of a roster. But they did blow out the Falcons 30-0 last week. It just shows how random and crazy the NFL is. But I don't think Carolina's a good team. I think they'll be like a 5-6 team. New England on paper is better. I mean, I think New England is an average team. Carolina's a below average team. So if the Bills play their A game or B game, they should win. But they cannot get away with a C game against today against New Orleans.
And Josh Allen threw his first pick of the season also against New Orleans this week.
Well, I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe the turnover streak held by the Buffalo Bills is over. I mean, the first turnover was season, but it's the first time in 25 games they lost the turnover battle. But it's a good thing they did. They also got called for a face mask, but yeah. But it shows how good this team is. I mean, they lost the turnover battle, did not play their best game, they still won by 2 scores. So there are some concerns, but I think it's, for the most part, Bills fans should be feeling great about this team.
Do you think the rest of our schedule, like after the Patriots and after our bye week, do you think that it's not an easy schedule, or do you think it's a?
So let's look at the schedule. I mean, it's going to get a little harder because I think Miami's below average. The Saints are the worst team in the league. The Bills still have an easy schedule. They should win most of the games on their schedule, but they cannot win every game playing like they did today. Up next is New England. Again, they're kind of an average to below average team. Atlanta, they got blown out by Carolina, but I think they were also another average team. Carolina, yeah, pretty much 3 average teams in a row: New England, Atlanta, and Carolina. Then Kansas City. I mean, listen, the Bills and the Chiefs just have this heated rivalry where the Chiefs are great, but the Bills and the Chiefs have gone back and forth the last couple of years. Initially, I had the Bills losing to Atlanta, but after that pitiful performance against Carolina, now I don't think so. So next is Miami. It should be a win. Tampa Bay might be the third toughest opponent, second or third toughest opponent on the schedule. But the good thing is that all the tough opponents are at home: Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Philadelphia. Houston. Initially, I thought Houston was going to be a loss because it's a short week. What I thought was a good Houston team, but man, their offensive line stinks. CJ Stroud is regressed. Pittsburgh's mediocre. Cincinnati's missing Joe Burrow. New England, Cleveland, Philadelphia, and the Jets. So the schedule's got a little tougher, but it's still a relatively easy schedule.
Do you think Joe Burrow will be back by the time the Bills have to play?
No, he will be back the week after the that week. So they pretty much announced it. And Green Bay just scored a touchdown to retake the lead. I don't know what Jerry Jones was thinking by trading Micah Parsons, other than he's a senile old fool.
Are you excited for like the last game of the season, like when the Bills wear their red 90s helmets for the Jets game?
Oh yes, it's going to be a bittersweet game as it's the final regular season game against at the old stadium. Although I think it's extremely likely that the final game of the Buffalo Bills at the old Highmark Stadium will be the AFC Championship game. It looks very. I just went over the schedule, and it's just everything's just lining up for Buffalo to get the number 1 seed. And who in the AFC scares you? I mean, maybe Kansas City has woken up, but Baltimore's having a down year. I'm not impressed with the Chargers. I'm not impressed with the Colts. Joe Burrow's out, and even with Burrow, I'm not impressed with them. I just think this could be. So, Robbie, what do you think? Who do you think the Bills will face in the AFC Championship game?
Well, I think it could be Buffalo, Kansas City again, but I'm also thinking Buffalo, Baltimore.
I think Baltimore has fallen out of that conversation, and they need to prove that they're still legit. I mean, they have a talent. They have a machine named Derrick Henry at running back, but John Harbaugh doesn't use them. He should be in the hot seat. But I'm going to agree with you. I think it's going to be Buffalo versus Kansas City. And if the Chiefs win that game, they will go to the 4th straight Super Bowl, a feat only achieved by the Buffalo Bills. So that would be an absolute fitting final game at Highmark Stadium.
Do you think Mike McDaniel gets fired after the Jets game, depending on what happens between the Dolphins and the Jets?
I think it'll depend on how badly they get blown out. If they keep it close, I can possibly see Stephen Ross keeping him on for a few more weeks. but I don't think McDaniel or Chris Greer survive this season. So let me ask you a question. That was how GM's being fired. Do you think Kevin Adams will be fired at the end of the season? Do you think this is a make or break season for Kevin Adams?
I mean, I want to say yes, but at the same time, are they got what's his name?
Yarmo
Yarmo Kekalainen or something.
Kekalainen, yeah. Yarmo Kekalainen. Oh, the touchdown was in reverse. So, and the flag is all. But yeah, Yarmo Kekalainen. It really seems like he's being groomed to take over for Adams. And I do think if the Sabres don't make the playoffs this year, Adams will be gone and replaced by Yarmo Kekalainen, which I think would be better for the Sabres because he has a little bit more experience. He's built a pretty good team in Columbus, and the Sabres are desperate.
Yeah, I think the Sabres are too. I mean, because, like, with the Sabres missing the playoffs 14 seasons.
14 years in a row. It's never happened in the history of the NHL. I mean, we saw the Bills go 18 years out playoffs, but it should be easier making the NHL. So, yeah, something's got to give. Go Bills, 4-0. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 4-0. Let's go. And do you think the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Patriots, do you think that's going to be a close game, or do you think it could be like a 40 burger for the Bills or a 40 spot for the Bills? Making,
I think it will be close. I mean,
like, making the Bills 30-point streak for 5 games.
Yeah, I think Buffalo could see the 30 point. I think it's going to be 31-28 Buffalo. It could be a really close, exciting, nail-biting game. Yeah, I agree with that. And I do like Drake May. I think Drake May is going to be a good quarterback. The defense still needs to step up and be better. And Green Bay scores a touchdown.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs with the touchdown.
So, Robbie, do you have any final thoughts? Well, I do have a final thought. So, I'm gonna say a prayer for our friend Curtis Wall, who's up in the hospital with heart failure. I posted on Twitter, and hopefully he'll get through okay. But he'll be transferred to Rochester tomorrow, so hopefully he gets through.
Yeah,
And he will.
I hope so too. I mean, because I mean he's a
good guy, and he wants to be on your show. So make sure you invite him when you get the chance. I mean, he's gonna be busy because he has to take care of his heart. But thank you, Logan.
Yeah, and I mean my final thoughts are
You're gonna pray for him, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And you can find all my posts on X, Instagram,
same here. Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky.
And before we sign off, go Bills and go
Go Bills, yeah.
Sabres.
Go Sabres.